Say good morning to John Fischetti. How are you this morning, John?
Greg, good morning. I'm good, thank you. Happy holidays.
Well, it's coming up very quickly, isn't it? And today you kind of want to talk about Christmas, but I guess like with people watching screens pretty much, I mean, even here we've got screens all around us, and I guess you're looking at your phone a fair amount of time, you're looking at videos a lot. You're trying to say, this Christmas period, let's kind of get away from that a bit.
All right, for anyone heading to the mall as a grandma, an auntie, or just a mother or father dropping their kids at school one more time, stop the car, get out, make a list here, because what I'd like to do is redirect your plans for holiday gift giving to what we'll call old school, if that's okay, Greg.
That's fine, yeah.
The average Australian over 12 years old is now online staring at screens 9 hours a day.
That's a long time.
That's you and me at work.
Yeah.
That's also at home. That's how we do our entertainment. Most people don't watch television in the old school sense. They're watching on multiple formats and in multiple different sizes of screens. And our kids are probably more than that, because we hand them those things as gifts for the holidays and say, here, go be busy playing this little game over here, friend. I think for this Christmas, I recommend let's go old school. Let's get outside. This is the first, I don't know what normal means anymore, but since 2018, 2017 sort of Christmas, that we could say maybe we could plan to do something different. So I'm going to throw a couple ideas. I'd love to hear your best idea for your friends and family. But for example, I think we got to get out in nature more. Mm-hmm. And although it'll be warm, you can get out early or wear a big hat or bring along a lemonade.
Sure.
For someone who's really interested in all of the birds of this amazing region in the Hunter, a bird book and a pair of binoculars, and you'll have summer holidays all figured out with one of your very switched-on kids. We have an extraordinary species just that live in this region. You could argue the same for the fish of the region, if you're a fisher person, or for any of the various wildlife areas, the kinds of dolphins or even the whales. You could argue that same thing. Let's go spot them.
Well, there's lots of places around here you could go to do that as well. I mean, you could go to pretty much here to the university, the campus here, and just go for a walk around.
University campus, the Fernley Track, Central Coast has so many places out in the western part of the Hunter, out in the valley and the upper Hunter. Absolutely amazing opportunities. Think of that as also as a metaphor. If it's not that, what else could they be interested in? And once kids get switched on, it's like if you bought a blue car, all you see are blue cars. Once you see that blue spotted yada yada, you'll be able to say, oh, I see them, and you'll see the whole world differently. It's an extraordinary. Some kids are interested in insects. You could do the same thing. Maybe some grandmothers not so much. For younger kids who really you're building a library with, a lot of time it's the organization of the library, and many apartments or small homes, there's a space crunch. But you could create a reading corner and get a couple bookshelves. You might have to put them together if they're that presswood, and really decorate it maybe with a reading carpet like they use in primary classrooms. Sometimes even a tent, like one of the fold-up kind of plastic tents could be shaped like a spaceship or some kind of house, a fort, and make it your reading center. You might need a torch at night, but turn reading into an adventure. And what if we weren't staring at screens this Christmas? We were reading books to one another, or maybe you're reading your trashy novel while the child is reading, their adventure story.
It's also nice to turn a page, I think, as well.
The turning of the page is part of the adventure and the whole experience, that multi-sensory experience. You're absolutely right. Turning the page, being part of it, or if it's a younger child sitting on your lap while you're reading, creates love. We could create literacy by reading more. It doesn't really matter what they're reading as long as it's appropriate. Then I think there's a lot of opportunities to do old school games where you learn about competition and strategy and reasoning. You probably played a bunch of them as a child. A lot of times they're still stuck in the cupboard. You could pull them out and pretend they're new, or buy a new one.
That's all about it. Just give it a bit of a dust off and away we go again.
See if the pieces are still there.
Exactly right. Well, I think test matches, I still have that somewhere, I'm pretty sure. So
yeah, and there's some oldies and goodies and card games that from Go Fish, even some of the little strategy games like Connect 4. All those things build hand-eye coordination, they build skill and logic, and we really don't need to have an app for everything. So that's my main message. Take it for what it's worth. Let's get outside, let's play together, let's enjoy, maybe looking at one another instead of staring at a screen.
Yeah, the first thing I thought of when you said old school games, I thought just this is stupid. Ball in a cup. Just that flick up cup.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
I think that might be my youngest nephew's gift this year.
Fantastic.
Ball
See, it was worth this. You're gonna end up being a hero. It'll be the new hobby.
He is a screen junkie, though, my youngest nephew. He's pretty much on it the whole time. Every time I see him, he's got his screen with him.
Ask him to give you 30 minutes with ball in the cup, and he can get back to his screen and try to wean him off at least a couple hours a day. We got to enjoy life and enjoy each other. screens are not real. They're really good that we have them, but they can't preoccupy our lives. And imagine if I told you that 9 hours of your day was staring at a screen and you were asleep for about 6. What's left except eating and working? So I think we've just got to teach our kids that it's okay to turn them off. There actually is an off button.
Right. Yeah. There's a couple of good gift ideas as well. Like I think ages ago, my dad got me when I was a kid an ant farm. I don't remember how well the ant farm went, but
it's probably not well for the ants, but maybe good for your inquiry. But that's a cool idea, as long as you have some newspaper, if there's such a thing, underneath it or something in case it all falls over. Planting the garden, figuring out what summer plants can wither the heat, all that would be just amazing. And for holiday menus, let them decide for the Christmas sides. What's one you want, dear, and let them prepare it. Some kids are very picky, but all of a sudden when they prepare the food, they'll eat it.
Yep.
And so if you have a picky eater, turn them into the chef and give them the chance to go to the store with you to pick out the ingredients. There's even a little maths in having to weigh stuff too.
Excellent. John Fischetti, thank you very much.
Thanks
and
for
we'll
having
catch you
me.
next time.
2NURFM, a broadcast service of the University of Newcastle.